The movie starts with a man who makes locks. He is a legendary locksmith. He spent his whole life making 4 safes that amazed everyone because no one on Earth can open them. These safes are called Rhine's Gold, Valkyrie, Siegfried, and Dusk of the most mysterious gods. The locksmith was lonely because of his incredible skills. Then he locked himself in the Dusk of the gods and sank it into the sea. The first 3 safes have been used by banks for 100 years. 100 years later, a boy named David is introduced. He loved unlocking things from a young age. By the time he was 10, there wasn't a lock he couldn't open, except for the 4 legendary safes. His dream is to find and open them all. One day, he receives an email invitation. It says there's a lock-picking competition called the Evening of the Gods. David is very excited. He goes to the competition venue. A man takes him to the arena. 8 safes are placed in different spots on the field. David has just arrived and doesn't understand what's going on, but the referee announces the start of the game. Several master locksmiths begin working on the safes. Only David is still confused. Finally, he decides to join the competition. David squats down to start, but the man next to him has already opened his safe. The next second, another person successfully unlocks theirs. A third person also succeeds. Then David manages to open his safe too. The top 4 competitors move on to the semifinals. This time, they face more advanced safes. Everyone listens carefully to the sounds inside the safes, looking very professional. David seems a bit flustered. Suddenly, the confident man smiles and opens his safe, finishing first again. David gets into the zone and finishes second. Now it's the final round between the 2 of them. The final lock is a very difficult bank-grade safe. The referee announces that if no one opens it, the result will be a tie. The man takes the lead but looks embarrassed for the first time, losing his confident expression. He uses a stethoscope for the first time. David simply puts his palm on the safe. He already understands the complex internal structure. David wasn't in a hurry. He took 30 seconds to steady himself, then moved his hand slightly. The first lock opened, then the second and third. Even though he didn't fully understand the competition, David was happy to win. As he looked around, a cold and arrogant woman caught his attention. David didn't know yet that she would show him the legendary safes. She had a wild past, stealing a big gold watch at 6, a car at 14, and robbing a bank alone at 17. Today, she noticed David. Her name was Amy. Amy found David in a restaurant and invited him to join her team. To show her skills, she stole a woman's wedding ring, a man's gold watch, and a gun from an old man's bag, all in the restaurant. At first, David didn't want to join, but when Amy mentioned their goal was to unlock the legendary safes, David's eyes lit up. He couldn't resist and agreed to join her. He followed Amy to their hideout where she introduced him to the team. There was Karina, a hacker who could break into any system, Rolf, the god of fast cars, and Brad Cage, a master fighter. He once killed 72 strong men with his bare hands. Now, a team of 5 is formed. Their first target is the largest bank in the area. The safe used by the bank is one of the 4 legendary ones, Rhine's Gold. After sneaking David into the bank bathroom, Amy steals the key from a security guard. Amy then tells the banker she has booked a safe. Meanwhile, hacker Karina distracts the lobby staff. Amy meets up with David, and together they use the stolen security key to enter the underground vault. David finally sees the legendary safe, Rhine's Gold. It has 3 mechanisms with 420 million possible combinations. David's hands shake as he touches it. He puts his ear to the safe and slowly twists his hands, causing the gears inside to move slightly. He opens the first lock, then starts on the second. He can hear every tiny click inside the safe. Finally, he tackles the third lock, turning slowly as the fine gears inside shift. He successfully opens the door of the safe. They start putting money into their bags. Then Brad Cage shows up to cover them. David and Amy take the opportunity to carry their bags out, and Rolf drives them away. The FBI still can't believe it. Even though Rhine's Gold is the simplest of the 4 legendary safes, no one had ever cracked it before. Meanwhile, the team targets another big bank. This bank also has one of the 4 legendary safes. This time, the hacker breaks into the system from outside. David and Amy head to the underground vault. They see the entire safe in front of them. It has 5 billion possible combinations. David listens closely to it. He makes one mistake, and the password mechanism resets. The password wheel appears again. They know if they make one more mistake, the contents inside will be destroyed. To keep David from being discovered, Brad Cage robs the bank to distract the FBI. David starts again, very serious this time. He opens the first lock, then the second gear pops out. He cracks the third lock. Finally, David turns the largest locking disc on the outside. After stopping, he opens the safe door. They start to run away, heading towards the car. Amy gets in first, but when David arrives, the man suddenly stops. After hesitating, he lets go. David has to keep running. David managed to catch a train and used all his strength to climb up. Amy was unhappy with their approach and left the team. The hacker also decided to join Amy, and the team disbanded. Soon they found David again. Their next target was the third artifact, Siegfried, which was now used by a casino. The FBI knew their plan. At 5 a.m. the next day, they arrived at the casino, but the staff said they had received a notice that the safe had been transported away over an hour ago. The FBI was confused. It turned out that the hackers had pretended to be international FBI agents 8 hours earlier and told the casino to move the safe. Lisa was hiding in the van and grabbed a pistol, eventually distracting 2 men at the roadside. David saw the safe behind him. However, the hacker ran into problems because Brad Cage betrayed them, and the hacker was caught by the FBI. Despite this, David managed to open the safe. They are very excited, but suddenly remember the last artifact, the Dusk of the Gods. No one knows where it is. Despite this, they laugh at the wealth in the safe. As they get out of the car, a man is waiting for them with a pistol. He shoots at David, but the gun is empty. Amy had replaced the bullets. She locks them behind the pickup truck. They plan to take a boat to find the Dusk of the Gods. Suddenly, the FBI appears. Amy, unafraid, pulls out her gun. She lets David go and decides to go back with the FBI. The FBI agrees because compared to Amy, David is just a nobody, but David doesn't want to leave. Amy tells David to find the Dusk of the Gods for her. It's her lifelong wish. David realizes he has no choice but to leave. Finally, he accepts Amy's wish and leaves. The team is arrested except for David. After some time in a coastal store, 2 people holding a treasure map find David. The map shows the location of the Dusk of the Gods.